Hello! We are going to play a game which a lot of people whose opinions I respect on such matters have, I've heard calling their game of the year, or like a kind of late entry into their game of the year list. And having played a little bit of it, I can definitely see it's very interesting. It's called. Did I say Noita? I say it was called Noita. It's called Noita or something. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly. Um. So what Noita is so far I've played maybe half an hour. It's a roguelike dungeon. What it really reminds me of is a lot like Splunky. It's kind of a roguelike dungeon crawl sort of thing. And so far, like every session I've played, I've learned some kind of new interesting thing, interaction with how the world works. This is an incredibly it seems it to be an incredibly deep um, just system of physics and attributes and everything. It's kind of like what I think Magica wanted to be, the single player version of that, um, in some ways. So Magica was like an old game where you combine two different elements and you get some new things. And this has a... Ooh, I need to get that. This has a very interesting magic and inventory system that I feel like kind of accomplishes that dream almost better. But everything is kind of randomly generated. I hope this doesn't just destroy that. Okay, it doesn't. Okay. Okay. Hmm. So in addition to the different wands you can have, which have different effects, so you start off always with this little blasty wand, and then the bomb wand, which I'm trying to use to get this health pickup. Ooh, okay, got one. Yeah, there's just very interesting environmental actions. As you can see, I'm on fire, for example. Something over there is just burned or blown up this pedestal where there's some kind of reward. But yeah, with all these different... I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain just how deep the interactions in this crawler go. There's so much stuff you can do. Like, for example, I can knock down this lantern. I can break it, it'll cast a fire. It'll burn anything that's wood. If it heats up enough, or if the fire stays long enough, it'll ignite these coal piles. And so there's so many different things. Also, fire seems to create like a smoke thing, which hasn't necessarily come into effect yet for me. But I imagine maybe that creates like an oxygen problem. Not sure yet. You can drown, so I assume you might be able to just suffocate if you get too big of a smoke layer. So seems the kind of basic materials you're dealing with so far is you got fire, which of course burns. You have water, which you can get a little bit from these damp rocks, which will help you prevent being burned. And also pools of water will wash off this, like, we'll wash off mostly anything from you. That includes this kind of toxic liquid. It looks like this thing has probably charmed itself with some pheromones. So that's the thing. There's like, yeah, if you mouse over all the stuff, you can kind of see what's going on here. I think if you're on fire, damp rocks can help you maybe put yourself out a little bit faster. But best to suggest, if you get any icky stuff on, you just dunk yourself in water. Once you're in water, you see there's an oxygen meter. It's also very floaty. It's not like a game like Terraria where you just sink to the bottom. Unless you put in the input. So in like large body of water, it's actually quite hard to make yourself sink. Oh, I'm drowning. If you're trying to like go through an underwater passage or something, use a bit of resistance. So for example, yeah, like if I see this whole area is made of wood, if I want to create like a death trap here, I can do that. You also get flasks, so you have 4 wand slots, which you, if I survive this long enough, we'll see what those do. And we have 4 flask slots. And the flasks are these consumable, sort of large liquids. So you can have like oil, or you can have water. This is gunpowder, which I do not want to throw on fire unless if I'm anywhere nearby. It's a pretty difficult game to start off with, but once you... Ooh! Okay. Nearly got shotgun zombied. That would have been bad. If you take it carefully, it's not too bad. So there's something burned down there. These creatures in here interact in different interesting ways. So I think the zombies will fight with just random beasts. There's different like charm or berserk effects that will... I'm gonna go ahead and douse myself. Yeah, there's different charm. Oh, I should have used it on the fire demon too. That's alright. There's different charm or berserk effects which will affect monster behavior. Oh, and also blood is an important material. One thing it's used for is it does put out fire. So if you find yourself in fire without any water nearby... Woof! Oh, there's copper. I don't know what that does, actually. If you can kill, like, a zombie or something and just roll around its blood, it'll get you nice and not on fire. Okay, I was just checking since I saw that there was such a thick smoke layer. You can actually, it looks like, suffocate in smoke. That's nice to know. It's kind of what I expected. Alright, so here is where we get into the real fun part of the game. So, as you get more wands, they have greater capacity, and you can add all kinds of different combinations to them. So it looks like this one has a spitter bolt. I don't think that should damage me. My standard one has 2 projectiles, spark bolts. So let me just very briefly... So because I have... Whoops. Because I have put 2 bolts and then this splitter bolts on, it fires in the order which I equip them. Different combinations of this will result in different outcomes. Oh, and each wand also has its own effect. So this one always casts the multicast. So that's why the spell comes out like this, like a magic shotgun. Not accurate though. You know what, this is probably not a good situation. Okay, that's bad. Now toxic will put out fire. But then it poisons me. I think we... Ooh, dang! Wow. So, zombies can have wands also. Alright, that was our first run. It wasn't the greatest. I'm just looking over to the left here. I don't think there's particularly anything of interest. There are areas here we can visit, it looks like. I haven't done this before. I don't actually know what's... Okay. So, it's a water pocket. Am I just gonna drown? I might just drown. I lived. Cool. Okay. I feel that was very intentional of them. Oh, I got a treasure chest. Treasure chests tend to have really good things. What do we got? Picked up extra max health. Nice. A little bit of slowdown right now. I don't know what that's about. You should be worried about what kind of liquid physics are happening. Alright, what kind of one did we get? I did not look into what it does. Luminous drill, short-ranged beam of concentrated light, double spell, and burning trail. Okay, this is infinite. Okay, we can just dig with that. That's really cool. That's very useful. It's very good to have a digging tool immediately. So one thing I was wondering about is this little room underneath the shop. A black hole. Okay, black holes are kind of ridiculous too. I think we want the black hole. A worm crystal. Okay, well I broke it. Is that good? I feel less safe. Okay. That was probably a bad idea. Let's go ahead and choose this one, because it's very interesting. We now have spider arms that let us cling to walls, which is useful, but also kind of a curse, because it makes us a little bit less free mobile. We have to kind of lift off of any walls before we can use our levitation power that effectively. Any chance I can slink back into here and... No. I thought as much. So here's the thing though, is that when you get these ones that have like 17 capacity, they're usually loaded with a bunch of garbage that will kill you. This time it looks like it's okay. Got slime balls. Oh, what? We need to look at the spread. 2 always casts. What is that? Always casts that? Alright, well let's fire. Is it slow? Does it always cast? Oh, it always casts sideways. Interesting. I'm not sure what's going on anymore. It looks like they kind of like totally obliterated the wand I was looking at. Burst of air, brittle flow of air capable of greatly moving things, and double spell. Double spell is really useful to have. Should I get rid of my standard wands? The sniping power is so good to have. But it doesn't actually seem to be doing enough damage at this rate. Let's get rid of it for now. And we'll have to... Oh. No, that's just way better. That's great. Always good when that works out.